I think these are some of my new favorite books ever. Hey everyone, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. The cat is just, you know, rubbing against the books in the background, so ignore her, she's crazy. But little updates. I started a book club for the neighborhood, and that's been really exciting, but also kind of scary because I've never really ran a book club before and I don't know any of these people. But we had our first meeting and it was so fun, and we already have so many more people that are wanting to join. We picked our first book, so I'm really excited for that. But today we're talking about a book, 2 books that I read for a vlog that I was doing, and I ended up scrapping because I got too distracted. I was reading book 1 to this for that video, and then I finished it and I loved it so much, I immediately went to the store, bought the second one, and read it. I read both of these books in 48 hours, and I think they're my new favorites. But that is the Shepard King duology. Book 1 is One Dark Window, and book 2, Two Twisted Crowns by, I think it's Rachel Gillig. You know I'm so bad at names, but this series, guys, it's like gothic fantasy, and it's so good. I know I'm kind of on TikTok, not really, but I know book talkers, they have briefly mentioned this book, and I know I've seen it in a couple of booktube videos, but I don't feel like it really gets talked about too much compared to some of the other really hyped books. But this one is definitely worth the hype, okay? I loved this. I ate it up so fast. But let me tell you guys what it's even about. This duology is set in a kingdom called Blunder, and Blunder has been infected by a mysterious evil mist. If you go out into the mist, you get infected, and the repercussions are you gain this like magic ability. But magic always has a consequence, so you also have like a degradation of like your health or your mind, but you never really know what power or what consequence you're gonna have. So infected people are kind of banned from the kingdom and have been for hundreds of years from the king. He's like, infected people are sentenced to death. They're too much, they're like, you know, it's too uncontrollable, they're too dangerous, too unpredictable. So it's very scary to get infected, and it's usually a life sentence to go out into the mist and get infected. So they usually wear these like charms, and the charms are usually made from like animal parts. So there's like, you know, like a talon of a raven, or, you know, a horse bone, something like that, and they have to have this talisman on them to keep from getting infected when they go out into the mist. Our main character is Elspeth Spindle. I have to say that really slow because it's kind of like a tongue twister, but Elspeth is infected, and she has been for 11 years. Her family knows, and they have kept her hidden, and kind of like it's a secret that she's infected, and she doesn't really believe that she has a magical ability. So her family also doesn't think that she ever manifested a magical ability, but she has a voice in her head that talks to her, and she has for 11 years, and he's a very like brooding voice. Also in this kingdom there is something called Providence cards, and this is basically like your normal deck of cards. Think like tarot cards, and each card has a special ability. So there's like maiden cards, and the holder can tap it and they get beautiful, you know, appearance. Or there's the nightmare card, and they can tap it and they can enter people's minds and see what they're thinking or their past. So all of these cards anyone can use as long as they tap it, but because they're held very dear and they're kind of rare, the holder usually keeps it really close to their chest and they don't let other people have them. There is a prophecy in the kingdom that if you collect all 12 Providence cards, the mist will be lifted and the kingdom will be free. So Elspeth, as far as the Providence cards, what no one knows, not even her family, is that 11 years ago, the night she became infected, she tapped a nightmare card, and the powers got sucked out of that card, and now she has a nightmare in her head. I love this. It's very gothic. My cat is meowing. Elspeth is walking along the highway, and she gets attacked by these highwaymen, and they threaten her and are like, where are the Providence cards your, you know, uncle has, blah blah blah. She ends up getting away, and a little bit later she attends an event at the castle, the head of the kingdom, and she realizes and finds out that the men that attacked her are actually part of the nobility in the kingdom. So they're also kind of being sketchy and are fugitives because they're going against the king's wishes. And she gets sucked into this giant plot to basically help save Blunder from the mist. So she's helping these nobles that are not supposed to be doing what they're doing to collect the Providence cards, and they're doing it for their own reasons, and they're going against the king's wishes in their own way, or for their own reasons also. And then she is having to hide the fact that she has a monster in her head. And there is so much like prophecy and lore that goes on, and it really just like, it's just so good, guys. Like, I don't know, I read this an entire day. It was really good. I loved the writing style. It's very gothic. Like, I don't even know how to describe why it's gothic, but just reading it, I feel like I should be sitting in an old Victorian like castle where it's always like dark and dreary and misty, and it really came through with the writing style. I also love Elspeth and the relationship with the nightmare in her head. It's really interesting, and that gets unraveled a lot in this book. And then the second book goes even more in detail about it, and they're just so good. I will warn you that if you read this one and you really like it, it ends on a cliffhanger kinda. So then, hence why I immediately bought this one. But I think that this duology is so good. There is a little bit of romance. I mean, personally, I don't think it was anything crazy, but there is a tiny bit of romance, and the romance is more prominent in the second one as far as two different couples, I'd say. And honestly, I don't know, the prophecy and the whole lore behind the kingdom and the Providence cards is just one of the most fascinating magic systems I've ever seen, and it's also just stunning. Like, I sobbed. I cried in this one, and I sobbed when I finished this. I just thought it was the most perfect ending to a story, honestly. I know some people have been reaching out to the author on social media and are like, are you gonna make more books in this series? Are you gonna make more books in the world of Blunder? And honestly, I pray she doesn't. I really hope she doesn't. While I loved this so much, it was so perfect, I don't want her to make something else and kind of ruin the perfect story. Like, I really do think this story was like perfect. The way that it ended, the way that it was written, the relationships between characters, the magic system, the whole prophecy, and the lore in the last 500 years since the mist has started. I just think it was so good. So it would actually kind of make me mad if the author wrote more books in the series, because again, I think it just ended really, really well. So yeah, I kind of picked this book up on a whim because I was trying to do a vlog, like I said, and the whole vlog got scratched because basically I wasn't in the mood to read what I was going to read for the vlog. I read this one book and then I said, oh my god, picked up the second, and then I went on a spree of reading all different kinds of books that were not related to the video I was trying to do. So I'm really happy that I did that though, because again, I think these are like new favorites. Like, seriously, I kind of want to go get a tattoo of one of these. Like, that'd be so cool. Like, there's this one quote and saying that they have would be so cute. One of the Providence cards would be also really cool. It's just so good. But yeah, I really think you guys should read this if you like gothic fantasy. I don't know, people say that this is like a young adult, which I guess it kind of is. She's like in her late teens, maybe early 20s. I honestly can't remember. I think this is like early 20s, late teens. So maybe that's considered young adult. I honestly don't know how people differentiate between young adult and like new adult or like adult fantasy anymore. I would assume that it's probably young adult, but it's really good, guys. But already these covers, like, they're beautiful. I kind of did my makeup based off the second book. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about these books. I'm not really the best at reviewing books, other than telling you that you need to read it. I don't want to spoil books, so I don't want to say too much, but this is just one of the best gothic fantasies I've ever read. Fantasies in general. I loved the vibes, I loved the writing, I loved the relationships, the magic, and the world is what really sold me. I absolutely ate it up. The second book I also loved so much. Both of these were 5 stars, which if you guys have been following know that I haven't really read that many books this year that I've really enjoyed. So clearly this was a very nice break that I needed from all of these other not so good books. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me yap about these amazing books. The Shepard King duology is one to definitely read. It's worth the hype on all these social media platforms. Definitely read it. I don't know why I didn't get hyped up sooner because these were published a couple years ago now, but read them, read them, read them, read them, read them. Definitely going to be some of my favorites of this year, so that was really exciting. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me quit talking and I will see you with the next one.